What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Screw Up Sessions and another very special Know New Friends collab podcast. Today's guest is very special once again, and to continue with our UAP series, we have the Ateneo courtside reporter for both season 87 and season 88 of the UAAP. Please welcome Vicsi Burgos. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're very excited to have you too.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome home.
Coming from the Lasallian side and getting to experience this Ateneo side is a treat for us too. And any chance to like appreciate good basketball is always we always take it. So thanks so much for being here. We're so excited for this.
I'm excited also, and it's nice to know that you guys appreciate Ateneo basketball. Because
Of
I was
course.
rooting for LaSalle in the finals, just
Oh yay, okay.
on the
We'll take
last
it. We'll
game.
take it.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay,
take
I'll
it.
elaborate later. But I was like, you guys really went through a hell of a lot to get to the finals, so I respect it. You guys had to beat us.
True, but Ateneo did also, especially in the latter part.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right, so you've been the correspondent for 2 years now. In your batch, you're one of the vets already. So I can imagine it's been quite the 2 years for you. But where did it start? Like, how did you decide you wanted to apply? Like, what was your application process like and your mindset? Like, what was the switch that was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna report and tell the story of the Blue Eagles for the basketball and volleyball season.
Okay, so I think, well, I'm gonna go back to like high school. Parang before, I would always watch basketball, and my friends were like teasing me because then they were saying, "Oh, you only like basketball for the guys," and I was like, "That's a lie." I actually grew up watching UAAP with my dad, and he went to LaSalle, so I would watch all these LaSalle games. I have photos of me like with the clappers and the anima shirt, so I would always watch UAAP with my dad. And so that like kind of made me appreciate basketball. And then my friends were like, fine, just be a courtside reporter. So it's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna be a courtside reporter. And I would say that as a joke. Um, and then first year of college, I couldn't apply because when I entered college, I was only 17. So um, parang you have to be 18 to be eligible. And then on my second year, I saw the post for the applications and I was like, you know what? I'm like super jobless in college. Like I really didn't know what to do with myself because in high school I was always like on to something. Like I was always up to like whatever extracurricular, but with college I just simply couldn't find my niche and like a place that I really felt I was excited to like work on or yeah. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply for courtside as a joke, but I didn't tell anyone. I only told my parents and then um I was just yeah, parang like applying because I had nothing to lose at that point, like whatever, like and then the first audition you just had to send in the video and then the second was the in person and then in the in person parang they were it was only like 5 minutes. I swear I was like I'm so sure I'm not gonna get it because they didn't really like I don't know if they saw like my potential within that 5 minutes. But then somehow I got a call back and then we did a workshop. And then I got the call that I was gonna be a correspondent. But this all happened within a span of a month. And I think it wasn't so nerve-wracking for me because in my head I really didn't think I was gonna get it. But yeah, I think it was like sort of parang I manifested it since high school, but I really just didn't know it was gonna happen. I'm so glad it did.
Yeah, honestly, out of all the things you could have picked, I think you picked like the best one to end up
Really?
like going after. I mean, if you think about like all the college orgs and stuff, every
Yeah.
single one is special, right? But then I think for someone who has a background for like at least a love of sports and basketball, like to be telling the whole story up front every game, like it must be like crazy. I can't
Yeah, for
imagine.
sure. It is crazy. And I'm so lucky because I was able to get it. But it's hard because I'm sure there's so many people that could have been better than me that were applying for the job. And I just really got lucky. So I'm so grateful. Like it changed my life.
Yeah, it must have been so cool because being a fan, and then also getting the opportunity to be a correspondent. It's a really good combination because it won't really feel like work, even though it's, work then. Because I'm sure you're having fun, doing the whole experience, diba? So just getting to soak in everything from that perspective or point of view. So that must have been really great. And being that, to kind of like continue on with like the next question. So correspondents, are also students, diba? So for sure you had to like juggle a bunch of responsibilities and whatnot. And from what we've gathered from the past times that we've interviewed correspondents, most of them actually like came from courses that weren't technically related to, broadcast, diba, reporting and
Yeah,
all
or
that.
sports media,
Some
not even close.
yeah. Oh, some of them were
Yeah.
like out of left field talaga, but they ended up being correspondents and did well. So, ayun, so we want to ask, what was your course, in college, and did it in any way help you through your correspondent journey?
I think, well, I'm like a different case because my course is AB Com, so it's super
Oh,
aligned
okay.
with being a correspondent. Yeah. That's
Mm.
because I always wanted, I still do, I want to pursue something in the realm of like broadcasting or media. And I guess that's why I also kind of got interested in becoming a correspondent. But then I think in terms of like my course, I really learned a lot, like because I'm super grateful that in Ateneo, we have a lot of professors that are actually professionals in their field. And so it really allowed me to, number one, gain a network, and number two, it's just like they understand what you do. And so parang, not in terms of just like theories and skills, because that's what people think comm is, but it's like really just about having the confidence and like being able to know how to make a story, because like you said, it was a while ago, you were like, oh, it must have been fun to be like a correspondent, and it really is because it's my dream job, and like I do this for free, and like I'll do this forever if I could. But it could also get hard because sometimes like when things get tough in teams, it's hard to tell the story of your team because you're attached, and also players can have a hard time talking to you just because they don't want to talk, like it's a bad season. And so parang my calm background really helps me communicate with them so that I could understand them and then tell their story, if that makes sense.
Sakto pala that you're APCOM, so it is very fitting to be a correspondent also. So parang in a way, it's like, additional like actual experience, di ba? Parang field work almost, di ba? And you're able to really apply the stuff that you've learned in your course, di ba? So yeah, that's pretty cool. And we've gotten used to hearing like completely different courses and then naging correspondent sila. So parang we were asking, oh, how did you balance yung responsibilities mo as a correspondent and then as like, I don't know, like a med student or engineering student, di ba? Must have been crazy.
Yeah.
And I also like what you said nga, yung the whole, sometimes the players find it hard to open up nga sometimes. Pero, I think your job talaga is to be the bridge for the audience to know the players more, diba? Outside of just being, players or athletes, diba? So like there's more to them. So we've mentioned before in the other episodes na it's a really cool thing that you guys do is tell the stories of the players apart from the game itself, like, beyond the game pa. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I always wondered about that also actually. Now that you brought it up, that like when things aren't going the way that the team had imagined, like how hard it is to stay composed and to like still be able to do the reports that you need to do and to be able to get them to open up about these things that would make them seem so vulnerable, right? But I mean, I guess your course also helped you to figure out how to like
Sure.
how to approach it from like a friend's
Yeah.
perspective rather than just like oh, I'm asking you these questions. It's really like oh, I feel what you're going through, like let me share this load with you and be able to still like tell your story because this is just the low point, like it will get better. This isn't like the end of everything, right?
I think that's one thing also that I learned from the job. It's that you really can't have it transactional. Like you can't just show up when things are good and then dip when things get bad. Or like you really have to let them know that you're with them and that you're here as a part of the team, like through thick and thin. And so with that, parang I always tried to make it a point that I would go to training every day or at least like 4 times a week, just so they know that I'm always there. Like I'm not only gonna go there. Baka kasi it's hard to build a relationship when they think, oh, you're only gonna be here like for 20 minutes and you're just gonna come to ask questions. So yeah, I think that's one thing also. You have to be a part of the team and like experience the highs and the lows with them so that they know that like you're actually someone they could trust and that they could talk to, especially with guys, because it's really hard to get guys to open up.
That's a
I
given.
won't disagree with that. That's true. And like sports is such a like it's such a prideful thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
also. So
Oh, yeah.
to be talking about like losses, it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so commendable to athletes that like they're still okay with opening up about the low points.
And it's a privilege that they even talk to you because it's not their job to talk to you. Like they can say no, but like it's nice when they entrust you with that. So you have to take care of it also because it's how people perceive them.
True. Wow, that my God, we're only second question. It's so deep already. Okay. That's a really nice perspective though, because like I don't think we've gotten this deep about it yet. But I think because we also appreciated this season a bit more than the previous ones, that like we really felt everything that every team was going through. And now to be able to get a clearer picture of like everything that was going on when the teams weren't doing like I mean they weren't at their best. It's nice to see that they were still willing to be so open and to be hopeful that things were gonna get better. Okay, so let's get a little less deep na lang now. Let's get a little nerdy with it. So Ateneo didn't have the miracle season that it probably wanted, but honestly, it was still such a crazy roller coaster ride from beginning to end. Like there was no like non like there was no anticlimactic Ateneo game. I think every single game, kahit like coming from a LaSalle person watching like on Pinas Live, I was like, all of these games are just so fun to watch. So we're gonna be going through the season of Ateneo bit by bit, and then as we break the games up into clusters, maybe it will reignite some memories that you were feeling like in the moment, like it will unlock like your POV of like what you were seeing while it was happening. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay.
so the first game was against FEU. I remember because I was waiting for the Ateneo Adamson game, and I just decided to watch it because I wanted to see what was happening, and I was like, why is it taking so long?
This is the
Yun
overtime,
pala,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
overtime. So because of Joric Bautista, it went into
Yeah.
overtime, and
On
then
free
it
kick.
took an extra like 20 minutes out of those 5 minutes. But because of I think Jared Bahay made a three, and then Kaimani Ladi made a miracle three from the top of the key, and that sort of sealed the first game. So Ateneo goes up 1-0. Then the next game was the UE game. Yeah. I remember I was also watching that because I wanted to watch the Adamson UP, I think was the one after it. Yeah. So that was where it was like just trading haymakers not in the fourth quarter. And then I think Welo Lingo Lingo shot a three that put
Yeah.
UE up by one. Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
They were all
And
close.
then yeah. And then Kemani Ladi like saved the day again with another three. And then Ateneo goes up 2-0. And then Adamson, I think, was next.
Yes,
Yeah, that was where
Adamson.
you guys just destroyed Adamson. Yeah, that was, and they were coming off a win against UP.
Yeah.
So this was a really big deal, and I think this was where Jaden Lazo and Divine were the ones who were like the shining
Yeah,
players in
I
that
think
team.
Divine was the player of the game. I'm not sure how many
Yeah,
points, but
but
yeah.
that's where Jaden Laza just like freaking went off. I don't know how many
Yeah,
threes
yeah,
he hit,
yeah.
like 4 or 5 threes. Ateneo goes up 3-0. And then the game against us, the one of the most I think memorable of the season where you guys almost beat us by 30. 30. I think at one point you're up
Yeah. Fourth
33,
quarter, we were
33.
up by 30. Yeah.
Yeah, and then LaSalle
Then we
tried to
didn't
make
score.
tried
Yeah.
to make a comeback. And then um you guys ended up winning by 7, I think, because of Sean Tuano. But Dom Escobar was insane in that game. That he just did whatever the hell he wanted, and we couldn't stop him. Jared Bahay only made 1 3, but I think his playmaking was so key in that game. And that put Ateneo at the top of the standings as being, I think, at that point, the only undefeated team, 4-0. So, what are you thinking now? Your team's 4-0, like coming from last season where the record wasn't the best. Like, how are you feeling?
Um,
Yeah.
the first game pa lang, I was already like, oh, we're gonna lose again because I don't think Ateneo won an opening game since season 85 or something like that. It's been a while. And so that was already a miracle in itself for us. And they were also close. Like the first two games, I was like, guys, like I have a heart attack every single game, and like it's so hard when you're on the bench and everything's so tense and you're like in huddles. It's like ah, but then this third game, I remember this so vividly. I was talking to one of my friends on the team, like the managers, and then I was like, "Wait, Adamson's gonna be a difficult game now because they won against UP." And then I know, like, their coach is also good, and he's friends with Tab. I don't know, but like, like I always get afraid with Adamson because it's always a close game. It's either we win or they win. There's no like, oh, Ateneo always wins against Adamson or something like that. So I was like, they're good and their adjustments are really good in game. So we got really scared, but we really pulled through and by a lot. And I was like so happy because that was the game where I really sighed. Like parang third quarter, I kind of knew we were gonna win already, but you could never jinx it. Then come fourth game, LaSalle, and this one was especially like special for me because my family's there and they're on the other side. They're on your side, the green side, and then um, I remember like they were really so parang Coach Tab had this talk the day before and it was so powerful. And he's really good at that, like giving pep talks. It really moves you. Um, but that game was just so electrifying because the crowd was insane. Like you could feel the vibrations of just the drums and the people shouting. And we've never in my stint, like we never won against LaSalle. Even in tune-up games, and tomorrow they beat us by like 3 points. Um, so parang when we won, I remember I was just looking at all the players and we were all in shock. But then the fourth quarter of that game, I remember we weren't scoring that much. Like LaSalle was really pressing. And then we were like, wait, are we gonna lose this game? Like we were up 30 and then are we gonna lose the game pa? But then luckily they managed and they pulled through. Um and it was really nerve-wracking. But I remember everyone was crying from the manager's side after that win because it was so special. Like, imagine going 4-0 from a season where you went, like, I think we won 4 times in 87.
Yeah, I think four is
Yeah.
five, something like that.
So it was really special for us. And parang it really boosted the team's morale because after that, like, well, I won't get ahead of myself, but it was like parang you could already feel the team was strong and this season won't be as bad as, I mean, or as shaky as the last one. But that LaSalle win, I have a video. I took it during like the third quarter and everyone was just cheering. And I was like, I'm never gonna forget this moment because like I don't think I'll ever find myself in this situation again. Like I really wanted to savor all of that because everyone was just so fired up. Like they really had something to prove in that game. And so yeah. The first four games were so good. Like I wish we could have just stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rivalry
coming
games
from the
are
dude,
super.
crazy talaga. I think I was in the car when that game was happening because I didn't get to go. I had something on that day, and then when it was the middle of the third, I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. Like, just give Ateneo the win, the lang. And then when we started scoring, I was like, this is not possible. I think they went on an 21-3 run or something like that in the fourth quarter. They
Yes,
cut they
we
cut it
barely
down to
Also,
won.
like
like,
that.
yeah, it was the lead is down to like 8 or something like that. And then I remember there's this one play where I think it was Mike who dunked the ball, and then Kemani got the rebound, and then for a second he looked so frustrated, and then they zoomed in on him, and he was like, "No, no, no," and then he prank called the rest of the other four players on the floor to give them like a hyped up pep talk, and then I was just like, after that, they went like Ateneo like got back. They focused so well, and then yeah, you
I
guys
have to say, Kaimani's
kicked our
really good at that
asses.
pep talk. Like in the huddles, he'll really like say he's so vocal, and I think it really worked. Because he was the captain also, so I
Yeah, he
think
was captain. No, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But that fourth, like from a basketball standpoint, I remember I was talking to the coaches about this. Parang that fourth quarter really revealed like where Ateneo's weakness was when they started pressing. Yeah.
Ateneo's on a high right now, and then I think the next game was UP. Yeah, the next game was UP. Ata, I think this is the first time where I
Yes.
saw your team kind of get like a little flustered. Like I remember Dom Escobar was having a really hard time. I think UP put Jacob Baila on him, and then they had like a little scuffle on the ground. I remember, like they're both trying to get the ball, and then I don't know if it became a jump ball or what, but that's the first time where I was like, "Oh, Ateneo might lose this." Because going into that game, I genuinely thought that you guys were gonna win it also because you're 4-0. UP was 2-2, I think, and then I don't remember what the score was, but I think that's where Francis Noruco just went off on your
Yeah.
team, and yeah, so that was yeah that must have been pretty pretty sad. But then you're still 4-1, so then it's the crazy probably the craziest game of the season, the triple overtime game where
Historical.
yes
That's
hosted
historical.
Never
in
happened
in
before.
your gym that took okay. So funny story, the three of us were hanging out that day, and we were thinking where we were gonna have dinner. And the Ateneo game was already going on. I think it was the second quarter. So I was like, oh, let's eat
Yeah.
in Chili's because I want to watch the last two quarters. So we sat in the bar. I, the amount of times we were like, when is this game going to end? Like I think there were UST parents who were fans beside us, and we didn't even know who to root for anymore because the game was just so
Close.
crazy. Like our food came and we ate it, and then it became
We were still there.
overtime, and then
And it
we
was
were
still
like,
on.
yeah, exactly. I was joking with them. I was like, Walapas is gonna reach second overtime, and then it did. And then I was like, oh,
And
it's gonna
then
reach third
third.
overtime, and then it
Yeah,
did.
we were like, stop jinxing it already.
Yeah. Um, well, I mean, do you want to talk about the other games, or I think
Yeah,
we
I
have
think
to?
no, no. I think this is a
Yeah,
good like breaking
yeah, this
point
is a
also.
good
A
point
good breaking
because
point.
this game was really historical. It was the first UAAP game that would happen in Beg again after a long time, and then Beg is Blue Eagle, and then
Mhm.
I was told it was like the first triple overtime in the UAAP. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
true.
in the final four era, I think is what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is, and so I was like, wow, to be a part of that's crazy. But like you could imagine how hard that loss was for the team because everyone was at like rooting for Ateneo and Bang, and um, it was a must-win game for us because of the gravity of the moment, not because of like the standings. Because at that point we were pretty comfortable, and although we really wanted to bounce back after that loss from UP because I think they beat us by quite like it was a bigger um loss
Hmm.
than what they had hoped for. Then um So yeah, the day before that, like we took photos in the Blue Eagle gym, and then they only started training there. Parang we started in the season. Parang we started in Moro, and then we went to Beg. So it was really new. I remember when we went there for the first time, they were like, "Wow, it's so nice. It's like so nice to look at all the chairs, the equipment." Anyways, but so it was really a special moment for the team to even get to play there. And Coach Tab was already telling them na parang you have to be grateful that you get to be part of this history. And then I remember in the game, it was already so close, but then and I thought we were gonna win. I'm looking at my notes now, and I had written questions for the post-win interview. But I think at that point, I'm not sure, but I think Divine was already having a hard time with his back. And then,
Yeah, I think somewhere through the third or the fourth, he got taken out because after a while I was like, "Hey, where's Divine? He's
yeah,
not on the, he's not there anymore."
and they had Collins, Akoa, which is
Yeah,
like so galing. And then, um, I'm, if I could remember correctly, we had 3 games that week. It was like a really we had UP UST, sorry, LaSalle UP UST. So LaSalle was Sunday, and then UP was the Wednesday, and then parang
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
And then
So
Saturday, I think.
yeah, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
like super tiring if you think about it, like for the team. And so I know by the somewhere along the thread, and Dom and Kai were cramping. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, we're cooked. Because yeah, because I know it's like, well, first of all, they're like our 3 biggest scorers. And like I know it was also hard for everyone else on the team to see that. But then I remember they were really stepping up in the bench, and they were like, no, no, Kayan, like it's just one more, like a couple more points. And then I remember Coach Tab, he would always say this, and it's like you treat it you think of it as like this is only a 2 possession game. Like if it's a 6 point lead, like it's only 2 possessions. So we were super hopeful, but then I know it was an emotional game when we lost because parang I remember Jared, there's like a viral photo of him crying. Because he really felt bad because I remember he said in an interview that he knew he could have done more and we could have won, especially in that home court. But like he just couldn't because they were cramping up, and it was really such an emotion got after that. But it's one of the few moments where like even if we lose, Coach Tab still commanded the team and was like it was a monumental effort. That's what he said. I'll never forget that. Yeah.
Okay, all credits to Jared Bahay. Like, like, yeah, maybe he felt like he could have done more, but he was fucking fantastic in that game. I think that's the game where he injured his shoulder at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Because there
Yes.
was a three that he made to get it to triple overtime, where he was like way beyond the 3 point line on the left side, I think. I remember
Yeah, it was
seeing
a
that in series. I
miracle.
was
Every
like,
shot
what?
was, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Like I
That
couldn't
was
believe what were the chances, no?
Some of the best games talaga are the ones that are really, well, not just like close games, but the ones where you see talaga both teams like giving their all, like just
It was emotional for them.
100%.
From the
Yeah.
beginning, it was always emotional, yeah.
Very emotional. Like for me, that game, of all the games during the season, that game really personified like victory and defeat talaga. Like just
Yeah.
the highest victory for UST than, that stinging defeat for Ateneo. But despite that, just to see the game unfold the way it did, it was like amazing to watch. It was history nga, like you guys mentioned. So
But
yeah.
after that game, this is like a personal thing, but I was so bitter. Like I was like, oh, I really didn't go online until like our next game. Like I stopped looking at social media because it's like I can't. It actually really hurt that game. Like
like in your
because you could just
gym,
see
in your
how
home.
in our own gym and we were
That's
really
diba?
Uh,
fighting.
Home
Yeah.
territory.
Buti sana if it was like they really were gonna beat us from the beginning. But no, it was like it was anyone's game till the last second. But yeah.
Really was.
yeah.
Well, that's the game that got Insel into UAP. So
Yeah,
after
because
that one, he was like, "I'll come watch all the games you watch live
oh,
already.
what
Let's
an
go."
introduction.
Oh
I've never
really?
seen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just came with these guys to hang out. Then The how many overtimes was that? Three overtimes.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, and
Yeah,
so
well, welcome.
exciting. Yeah,
Anything could happen to UAAP.
anything could
That's what they
happen.
always.
It was anyone's game. Like, and then I got into UAP now with these guys, and I watched each Dasal game with them.
Yeah.
From that point on, it was fun. It's fun. It was
That
fun.
was the crazy. Okay, so at this point, Ateneo is 4-2. Uh, yeah, 4-2, right? Yeah. And then the last game that round was NU, where Paul Francisco, I think that also went into overtime. And that was the first,
Yes, but Jared wasn't playing.
yeah, and Divine also was already out now. So that was the first
Yes.
game where I think Jaden Lazo took the role of Giant Bahay. I remember I was like, this is such a smart move though by Coach Tab to make Jaden Lazo because he can play the one and the two. So like it's okay for him to be a playmaker also. And
Yeah.
for the most part, you guys did really, really well. Like I think NU was having a hard time all the way until the middle of the overtime where Paul Francisco just like shot three pointers in a
Yeah, he
row.
went off.
Yeah. And then yeah, that's how the round ended 4-3. You were tied with UP and LaSalle. I think Ateneo was fourth at that point. And then LaSalle was fifth, I think, or something like that, fifth or sixth. So going into the second round, it was your first game was NU again first, right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that's where I was just so impressed with Kaimani Ladi because he took on the role of Divine. Like being a four and having to play the five. Props to that guy, man. I was just so impressed that he was able to keep up with Omar John. I was like, what the hell is happening? Like Kaimani Ladi is able to like score on this guy, but and it was still yeah, but that game, I don't remember what the score was. I just remember NU won again. And then that was number three. What is the game after NU? Was it UE already? Ah, FEU. FEU again.
UE. It was UE. Yeah, I'm sure it was UE. I'm just trying to remember. Oh, really? It wasn't UE?
I'm I don't remember because I remember that they
Oh,
went
no.
on a five you guys went on like a 5 game like slump, right?
Yeah, yeah, we went on.
So FEU was the last of the slump. Okay, so at this point, your team is 4-5. What's going on with you guys? How's the morale? Like what's happening? What is everyone thinking?
I think well, the one thing I remember Coach was telling us when we were in the slump, was that you have to play like you're the team that started 4-0, not the one that had five straight losses. Um, and I think it's something naman that they showed, but they really did like honestly struggle with Kai playing Divine's role because they were really pressing on Kai, and then I remember I spoke to him, and because well, I mean I like basketball, but I'm not like technical with it. Like I can
Mm,
never like tell you the plays or something. So I would always what I would do is I would always talk to the coaches and see like, oh, what do you think is happening here? Why are we losing when this happens? Um, and then they said something like, "Oh, because they're scouting Kai and they're putting pressure on Kai." And then so I asked Kai about it. I was like, "Kai, what's your mentality? How are you adjusting knowing that all these teams are scouting you and that they know how to kind of like make you less efficient?" And then he was like, "Yeah, it's something that I noticed also, but this is why I tell them that they have to be there for me. Like this team isn't just me. It's with everyone else has to put in the work, and they have to let me know that I'm there." And it's something he always tells his teammates. Like even if they're pressing on me, you guys have to show me that you guys could carry on. And they did. Like I think we didn't really have games where it was like a terrible loss. Like it was all well fought. Even when we were losing, they were all close games, well fought. And so like he would always say this. I'm reading my notes, but he said like, I want to rebuild our chemistry as a team because the loss really took a toll on them. But he said, I want to rebuild their chemistry because, and this one is like where it kind of gets sentimental because he's like, I don't have much time left on this team. Like round two is about to end, and I don't know how many more games we could play together. So we have to give everything we've got in these next few games and get a win. So yeah, I think at that point they were hungry, but I wouldn't say desperate. It was more hungry and more eager because they knew the team that they had. It's just unfortunate they didn't have Divine, but I don't. The one good thing with this team is I don't think they ever lost the spirit or the heart.
Yeah, that's what I noticed talaga every time. That's why I think I enjoyed watching the Ateneo game so much because they were in it from beginning to end. Like no matter how the odds were like stacked up against them, how many players they were missing, whoever was on the floor was like on it talaga. And after everything you said, massive respect to Kaimani Ladi. He's such a excellent player. I love watching him this season. It was such a privilege as a basketball fan to see this kind of talent and to be helping Ateneo also to throughout their season. Commendable, commendable.
Yeah, they're very much fighters, and I think it's also with the coaches and the culture that they create in practice. It's like no one can quit. There's no, he always says like, when you're fighting for your brother, you don't quit. And you know, the team is called Blue Eagle Band of Brothers. So parang yun talaga yung culture nila. Yeah, so it's nice. Even if you're losing, you could really see how everyone lifts each other up. And even if it's discouraging when you lose and like it could feel heavy, you could always feel that they were confident that they could pull through in the next games. Never lost the
Yep.
fight.
It's like the
Yeah.
friends to the end thing. Eh? We win together, we lose together.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So you wanna go through the fast talk where you don't need your notes or records, naman. Just on the top of your head, just say the first thing that comes to your mind. So who's your favorite player from another team?
Kevin Kiambao.
Ooh.
Love
Okay.
that.
Good choice.
Picking a Lasalian is just so goated.
It's not just because they're all Italians here.
The,
No,
the
no,
Mga
yeah.
mutual
It's
No,
just
no,
because,
no.
like,
Seriously,
hello,
Kevin
gatekeeper is
Kiambao.
generational talent. That is like,
yeah.
Like I follow him. Like I look up to him, and I don't follow Lasallian players, but I will follow Kevin Kiambao.
massive, massive respect.
So which team were you always nervous for Ateneo to face?
UST.
UST.
US.
Sabagay.
Good
We
answer
had
also, because both
we
your
had
games
that
against them were crazy.
three-time overtime. That was
After that,
nerve-wracking.
yeah.
It's always on the edge of my seat there. All right. Which player scared you whenever the ball was in their hands? Like they had possession of the ball.
From
Like
another team. Like,
from another
Yeah, yeah.
team,
yeah, when you saw them get the ball, you're like, fuck, this is going in.
Abadjano.
Oh, what a good answer. What a scary Jerry.
What's your favorite moment from the season?
Oh, winning against LaSalle, I cried. I was like, oh, I'm never gonna forget this.
No,
We didn't
fair
forget
enough.
it. We won't forget it either.
Yeah, we can't forget that either.
We won't forget that either. Almost losing by 30. But that's what makes Ateneo such a worthy rival. That's why you
Yeah.
guys are arch rivals because you you can not only keep up, you sometimes you dominate pa over us eh. Ay
No, but
nako, crazy.
there's the
You win some,
mutual
you lose
respect.
some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
mutual
sure.
respect between both the schools, diba?
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's a fun rivalry. That's what I love
Yeah.
about the Ateneo LaSalle rivalry. Like we're there to taunt, and then in the end, it's all like GBs.
No, it's
Or like
always you're
good
in
game,
for a
man.
show. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's always a guaranteed good game. And I think Boom told me and Sophie's the correspondent of um of LaSalle, and he was like, you guys are the only two in this season that will ever experience something of this magnitude, but other than like a finals game. Like it's not even a finals game and you guys already experience it, and I'm very lucky.
Yeah. Good job with that little break time inside. I think the season was getting too. I'm reliving
Getting too
everything in my
real.
head, and it's just like, yeah, the highs and the lows are just coming back. So
Yeah.
your team is now in the final stretch. I think 5 games are left, right? So you win against UE, which was also crazy because that's when Lingo Lingo came back
Mm-hmm.
after the 5 game suspension, something like that. And then you almost won against UP. That game was so impressive. Like the one when you were up like 21, I think by the
Yeah,
half, something
we
like that.
lost.
Yeah, because of Abadiano.
But that's why I
Because
said
of Jerry
Abadiano. I
Abadiano.
remember
Yeah.
every time he made the shot, I texted my dad. I was like, oh, it's like a punch in my gut every time he holds the
Yeah,
ball.
it's like he knows it's going in because when it's
Yeah.
gonna leave his hands, right? Okay, so lost against UP, and then you needed to win against Adamson to keep your place in the competition for Final Four. You're able to do that. I think you're the only team this season besides NU to beat Adamson straight. Like all the other teams
Yeah, I
lost.
didn't know that.
Yeah, unless I'm mistaken, I don't remember if FEU beat Adamson. I think they beat them once, but the only team to beat them twice
Straight.
besides NU. Yeah, and then your last game, your miracle do or die was honestly for me, I felt it was such a storybook way for it to pan out that there was a typhoon on the original date that so the game got postponed. So the last game of the regular season would literally be like
All right.
rivalry.
No, I remember the day before the game, or like 2 days before that. I was on starting lineup with Jessica Ramos. And then, like, obviously, we didn't want the typhoon to hit as bad as
Mhm.
people were expecting it to hit. But
Yeah.
then I was like, yo, wouldn't it be cool if the last game was Ateneo LaSalle? Like, that's epic.
Oh,
And
now we
then,
know why it happened, guys. Why we had to
no,
change our
hey, I didn't think it was gonna happen because we were like, oh no, I think like we're gonna have a game, which was fine. Like I didn't want the typhoon to hit the man, but then it was just like would have been cool. But um yeah, it was just bang, everything fell into place in that aspect. I'm not saying the typhoon
Yeah.
should have happened, but like
No,
like
the
in terms
UAP
of the
side of it,
scheduling,
like yeah,
you
it
upside of it,
really
everything fell into place. Yeah, and it made it so special. And I wish we won, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We watched
I
that
mean,
game. It was
yeah, we
super
all
fun.
watched it live. It was,
oh yeah.
that was that was
Yeah.
just this is my first lower box game. Like what
Oh,
an experience to I was just like this is
you know,
cinema.
my one regret for that game was that I refused to believe that was the last game. And usually, well, in season 87 for both volleyball and basketball seasons, I knew it was gonna be the last game na. Kasi we didn't have the miracle do or die predicament. Like we knew it was our last game, so I got to say goodbye. And like in the last report, like thank you for allowing me. It's been an honor and all that. And I really wanted to do that with basketball because it was gonna be my last stint with but yeah, I didn't get to do that because I thought we were gonna win. And I refused to believe we were gonna have another game. But yeah. I wish I could have said more, but and made my reports more sentimental. But at that point I still report my fourth quarter was still super technical and I was reporting on the huddle, but yeah, had I known, parang I would have closed it nicer.
No, but it's a good, mindset to always want to win, diba? No, like no matter what, even if it had the potential to be the
Yeah,
season ending, diba? Still a great run nonetheless, diba?
yeah,
So
for sure.
Yeah,
It was
I'm so
still
That's
proud of your team. They just fought from beginning to end. It was a really good season for Ateneo. Like I don't care what anyone else might think. Like fine, you guys didn't win the championship, but every game you guys were like fighting as hard as you could. Like that's not an easy thing to do. Like
yeah, and you know what?
straight.
I always say I don't think the record goes to show the effort and the strength of the team. Parang it was just unfortunate they missed like what one shot that didn't get the win. But like seriously, I think they really put up such a big fight. Not to be cliche, but that was exactly what it meant to do like a one big fight. Because like we
One big.
played without an FSA, that's so difficult for like
Yep.
4 games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the entire season was very competitive, honestly. Like
Mm-hmm. You
all
never
of the games,
knew. Yeah.
yeah, close. Okay, so after that retrospective nga of Ateneo's season from how you saw everything unfold and all that. So I guess to to end, um, throughout the entire experience, especially as someone who's done this for 2 seasons, because not every correspondent can say na parang, oh, I did this for, more than one season and all that. So throughout all of your experiences, what were you able to take away from it all? And when did you notice your growth both as a person and as a correspondent?
Oh wow, guys, that's such a hard question. Um, well, my takeaways, huh? I don't think the person that joined the team on her first day in practice and the person I am now are the same person at like completely different because it taught me confidence, it taught me empathy. Empathy is like the biggest thing I would
Yeah.
say we need for the job. Like I need to make pakisama. It taught me how to trust in yourself because especially with basketball, you're the only girl. Like I'm lucky now in my second season I have like girl managers with me. But then sometimes you're in a room, it's like 40 men and it's just you. You're the only girl. And you have to like stand up for yourself. And I mean like not stand up for yourself as if like they're all welcoming, but it's still like it's hard to be the only girl in the room. But I was so grateful because I guess my takeaway is that um parang you have to be grateful for every moment that you're given, all the stories that's interested with you. Just be in the moment and appreciate all of it because it all goes by so fast. And next thing you know, you're done with your basketball stint. And it taught me hard work. I think seeing how hard those guys work, it's crazy. The coaches, the managers, the players, the amount of sacrifice and the amount of time they put into basketball is just crazy, and you can see how passionate they are for what they do. And so it also pushes you to value your craft because if they're doing that and that's what they love, then you have to give justice to their stories and put equal effort into your craft and your job. And also I think I gained so much friends from that. Like some of the players, they're gonna be my lifelong friends, the managers, the coaches, I've learned so much, like mentorship and like just the memories. It's not even the games because see, like when you guys bring up games to me, I don't remember which games we won or which games, like how many points, who played well in certain games. The ones I'll really remember are like the times we spent every day in training from 6 p.m. to 9:30. All the in-betweens, it's what I'll take away talaga, and all the lessons I learned from getting to talk to them and knowing their stories. More than the box score. It's really the
Right.
mentorship. And I also gained like a lot of mentorship from my Signal family. It's just a lot of people that have changed my life in their own little way. And then collectively, it gave me such a like a big impact. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
encapsulated the whole your entire 2 year journey. It's not
Yeah,
even
but
done yet. You
it's
still
not
have
yet
part of the
done.
volleyball season. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost done though. So like you guys were the first people to ask me that question and I low-key have to accept it's about to be done. But like it's crazy. That question makes me emotional because I really learned so much. And the people talaga are the people that changed who I am. It's not the game set. It's really everything else.
Even when you're done, the Ateneo community is gonna remember you forever. I don't think
Mhm.
trust,
Yeah,
trust. You
hopefully.
had
And
you had a really, really good career as the correspondent.
really thank
And
you so much.
yeah, and we're
Yeah.
a really like powerful space for manifestation. So we're gonna say that you're gonna continue this if it's really
Oh,
what you want.
I hope this is the career I could continue. I hope I get the privilege to do that. And you know what? For people that want to do it, I think they should know that it's really a journey that's super worthwhile. It'll take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and sometimes you'll question, especially when we lose all the time. Like it makes me question why I do this. Like imagine like going to training and the games, but at the end of the day, it's so like you'll never regret any time you spend.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And there's the growth right there. See, you were able to vocalize it. That was it right there.
Mhm.
That's the proof that you
Yeah.
grew.
Yeah, congrats on, everything so far. I know the
Yeah.
season's almost ending and all of that, but yeah, good job on just
Thanks, guys.
everything. Yeah.
And
Win or
we love the
lose,
growth
who
that
you
you have.
choose.
Yes.
No, but seriously, thank you guys. I really had fun looking back because I don't do that a lot. Sometimes because it hurts. So it's still
Mhm.
nice to look back. Like, I really appreciated it. Made me reminisce. And I miss it so
Yeah.
much. So thanks, guys. I've never
Of
really had the
course.
time to sit down and look back at everything because it happened so fast. But yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a privilege for us to get to talk to you too, and to see the Ateneo side of things from because we won't get this perspective unless we really talk to you guys about it also, right? Like we're
Yeah.
forever gonna see it from the Lasallian side. So we really thank you so much for shedding some light on our arch rivals' point of view. We really it was such a fun season for Ateneo, like for sure. And you know, for you, we can't wait to see what broadcast gigs you get in the future. Walang ifs, whens lang. Whens only.
When, that's
Yeah.
right. This will manifest this here in your
Yes.
podcast and we can
Of
go back
course.
to it.
Yes. All right. If that's everything, thank you again, Vixie, for being here with us. You were such a
Thank you
fun guest to
guys.
have. This has been another screw up session slash no new friends UAP episode, and we will see you guys on the next one. Cheers.